She thought she was smart with money until one loan left her life in ruins. This is Emily's story, and it's a warning every single one of us needs to hear. Emily was the person everyone went to for money advice. She tracked every penny, had a solid savings plan, and was always looking for ways to make her money work harder. She was diligent, responsible, and felt she had a good grip on her financial future. Her friends admired her discipline, and she was proud of the secure foundation she was building for herself. She read all the finance books, followed the top experts online, and believed she understood the rules of the game. For years, everything went according to plan. She saved up a decent emergency fund, contributed regularly to her retirement accounts, and avoided credit card debt like the plague. She was the model of financial prudence. One day, an opportunity landed in her lap that seemed too good to pass up. A close friend, someone she trusted implicitly, introduced her to a guaranteed investment in a new tech startup. The projected returns were astronomical, far beyond anything she could get from her safe, boring index funds. It promised to fast-track her financial goals by years. The friend was already invested and showed her impressive-looking projections and a slick, professional prospectus. He wasn't a financial advisor, but his excitement was infectious, and the opportunity felt exclusive, like an inside track to serious wealth. Emily was intrigued, but also cautious. She knew that high returns usually meant high risk. Emily spent a week doing her due diligence, or so she thought. She looked up the company, and it seemed legitimate, with a polished website and positive press releases. The initial pitch was so compelling, it made her traditional investments feel slow and archaic. The idea of a huge, quick profit was intoxicating. She started to dream about what she could do with the money, pay off her student loans in one go, put a down payment on a house, maybe even quit her job and travel. The more she thought about it, the more the risk seemed worth the potential reward. Her friend's confidence sealed the deal. He said, "Emily, this is a once-in-a-lifetime chance. We're going to be set." That social proof, coming from someone she trusted, was the final push she needed. The problem was, she didn't have enough liquid cash to make the minimum required investment. She had savings, but they were tied up in her emergency fund and retirement accounts, and she knew better than to touch those. That's when the idea of a personal loan crept in. She ran the numbers. The interest rate on the loan was manageable, and if the investment performed even half as well as projected, she'll pay off the loan in a few months and still walk away with a massive profit. It seemed like a smart, strategic move using leverage to amplify her returns. She told herself, this isn't like taking out a loan for a car or a vacation. This is an investment. It's using debt to create wealth. So she went to the bank. The process was surprisingly easy. With her good credit score and stable income, she was approved for a $40,000 loan in less than a week. The money appeared in her account, a huge sum that felt both thrilling and terrifying. Signing the loan agreement, her hand trembled slightly, but she pushed the doubt away, focusing on the future wealth she was about to unlock. She immediately transferred the entire amount to the Startup Investment Fund. A wave of relief and excitement washed over her. She'd done it. She had taken a calculated risk, and now all she had to do was wait for the profits to roll in. The first month, everything looked great. She received a statement showing her initial investment had already grown by 10%. She was ecstatic. She called her friend and they celebrated their genius. It felt like they had a secret key to the financial markets. Emily made her first loan payment with a smile, confident that she'd be paying off the entire principal soon. She started checking her investment portal daily, watching the numbers climb. The feeling was addictive. She felt powerful, like a savvy Wall Street investor who had outsmarted the system. Then, things started to get weird. The second month's statement was delayed. When she finally got it, the growth had stalled. Her friend told her not to worry, that it was just normal market fluctuation. "You have to be patient with these things," he said. But a seed of anxiety had been planted. The company's communications, once frequent and optimistic, became sparse. The updates on their website stopped. Emily's calls to the support line went to voicemail. The suspense was agonizing. Every day, she'd wake up with a knot in her stomach, checking her email for any news, any explanation. The silence was deafening. The fall came swiftly and brutally. One morning, an email landed in her inbox. It was a formal notice. The subject line was "Important update regarding your investment." Her heart pounded as she opened it. The startup had failed to secure its next round of funding and was declaring bankruptcy. All investments were lost. The words blurred on the screen. It couldn't be real. $40,000. Gone. Just like that. The air was knocked out of her lungs. She stared at the screen in disbelief, rereading the email over and over, hoping she had misunderstood. But the message was clear. The money was gone forever. The immediate aftermath was a blur of panic and shame. The $40,000 investment had vanished, but the $40,000 loan was very much real, and it was due every single month. The payment, which had once seemed so manageable, now felt like a crushing weight. It ate up a huge chunk of her salary, leaving her with barely enough to cover rent and basic necessities. Her carefully constructed budget was in ruins. She had to slash her grocery spending, cancel subscriptions, and say no to every social invitation. The financial security she had worked so hard to build for years had been wiped out in a single, disastrous decision. The stress was relentless. Emily couldn't sleep. She'd lie awake at night, her mind racing, replaying every mistake, every warning sign she had ignored. The shame was suffocating. How could she, the money-smart one, have been so foolish? She was too embarrassed to tell her family or most of her friends. The one friend who was in on the investment with her was just as devastated, and they eventually stopped talking, the shared failure being too painful to confront. She felt completely isolated, trapped in a nightmare of her own making. The constant anxiety began to affect her work. She was unfocused, irritable, and her performance suffered. Her life, once so organized and on track, was now defined by a single colossal debt. So, what can we learn from Emily's devastating story? First, never ever borrow money to invest, especially in higher risk, speculative ventures. Using leverage magnifies gains, but it also magnifies losses. If the investment fails, you're not just back to zero, you're in the negative, stuck with a debt that can cripple your financial life for years. The rule is simple: only invest money you can truly afford to lose. Second, be wary of guaranteed returns and social proof. If an investment sounds too good to be true, it almost always is. Scrutinize every opportunity, especially when it comes from friends or family. Their excitement and confidence don't replace the need for independent, objective research and professional advice from a certified financial planner. Don't let the fear of missing out or FOMO cloud your judgment. Finally, remember that building wealth is a marathon, not a sprint. The slow and steady path of consistent saving and investing in diversified, proven assets might seem boring, but it's the most reliable way to achieve long-term financial security. Chasing quick, massive profits often leads to disastrous losses, just like it did for Emily. Emily's story is a tough one, but she is slowly rebuilding. It will take her years to pay off the loan, but she has learned a painful and invaluable lesson. Her story serves as a powerful reminder for all of us to be cautious, patient, and disciplined with our financial decisions. Thanks for watching True Money Stories. If this story resonated with you, please hit the like button and subscribe for more real-life financial lessons. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Stay safe and stay smart with your money.